Hello, my name is Mark Millioni, and I am the chair of the Board of Trustees here at Sattler. And I'm here with current President Zack Johnson and incoming Interim President Dr. Finny Kuruvilla to talk a little bit about Sattler and what's next. So, Finny, I want to start just by asking you, what are you thinking about the role and how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, really excited. I'm very excited, mostly because Brother Zack has done such a great job in his tenure here as president. You started working for Sattler in 2017.
That's right.
So it's been 8 years, and you are truly the employee zero of the firm who really built up Sattler. So really excited about that. And just thinking about all the contributions that you've made over the years is pretty impressive. One that jumps out right away is our Entrustment Model. This was your innovation and development here on the firm. So that's been exciting to see.
Yeah, I mean, many people know that I've been super passionate about the cost structure of our school because cost is one of our 3 C's. But entrustment means, for people who don't know, every single accepted student into Sattler gets a fully funded tuition offer. And you can go to the website to look at the mechanics of it, but I just want to say that on the student-facing side, I always think about, when we talk about Sattler, positioning Sattler as a guide to the hero. I think you're familiar with that. And the students really are the heroes of the story here, who a lot of them, this is opening the opportunity for people to come all over the world who probably couldn't come without this mechanism. So it obviously, I didn't raise the money. I didn't raise the money, but we did do some great work to make that possible. So it's really exciting.
Another thing that I think about that you've done at Sattler is you talk a lot about fanatical institutional pride. That's been something that I think you've really done well to infuse that energy and that rallying cry into the firm. And we're sitting right underneath the S and the C of our shield, which is a good example of that. So yeah, very grateful for that and what you've done there.
Yeah, so we're actually recording on commencement day for people who don't know, but I'm actually going to say, I'm reminded that we don't want to create an idol out of Sattler. There's that possibility, but from the very beginning, I've just been reminding people that in a small institution like Sattler, I get up to say, and I'm able to say, this is our Sattler, truly, to the staff, the faculty, the students. And when you come here, it's a pretty small community. I think people don't realize how it's not tiny, but it's small enough that every single person we bring here shapes Sattler. And truly, I've had this initiative that I want everybody branded. I thank you for wearing your pins here, and the shield, for people that aren't familiar. There's an S and a C in our shield that once you see it, you can't forget it. But I just want to remind everyone this is our Sattler, and it's our privilege to build something that God's proud of. And there's this quote that I like to remind myself of: if you see something you want to change, intervene, don't criticize. And I just think that that's true everywhere, and especially true at our Sattler. And I am very fanatically, institutionally proud of what we've done here, and especially looking at what our students are beginning to do. I just think this is the start of a world-changing institution, and in the ways that we can be doing that.
One of the things that I think has had a real visible impact is the international focus and how we've really expanded that under your presidency. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
I had set a goal to have students here from every livable continent by the time I left. So when I started, we had US and Canadians, and now we almost hit the goal. We'll have students from everywhere but Australia.
Okay.
And that still irks me. But yeah, part of the reason to start a school in Boston is to say this is a destination school. We're not a backyard school where you're going to be familiar with everything. We want to expose you to new people, new ideas, but also ground you in unkillable truth that was laid down by Christ. So I just think if you want to be a global student, a global citizen, and you're committed to Christ and his truth, there's no better place to be but Sattler. We're in, I think, one of the most important cities in the country. I don't want to rate cities. I know I'm not trying to poke fun, but this is a destination school, and if that's what you're looking for, we're getting there, and I'm just so excited. And the classroom is changed by those dynamics. We have people that come from all over the place, from different socioeconomic spheres, and I think that's what makes a phenomenal soil for a good learning environment.
Yeah, as a person who teaches a number of classes here, I can say that the diversity that we have on the international side with students from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from Latin America, it just enriches the whole experience. Even for me, as one of the faculty members, I love the interactions with people from so many different backgrounds that I learn from. It's been a really great accomplishment. So yeah, kudos to you and the team for that.
Yeah, and I pray that it mimics the church's duty to build
Amen.
a church that cuts across all these lines. And I think that we're seeing that here. And I think it's really exciting if that's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, it's a real privilege to be able to be an accredited institution that can grant student visas to other to people of other countries. You should talk about on the accreditation side. That's another one, I think, one of your solid accomplishments that we should be remembering at this junction.
Yeah, so I hope some of our inaugural alumni are listening. Maybe there's only a few of them, but I used to call them the guinea pigs. So they came to Sattler with a promise of an institution that would be accredited. We received accreditation from TRAX. That's a Christian accreditor, and in 2021. And we also were granted a 5-year provisional acceptance by the state of Massachusetts, which is also very hard to get. So I know that Dr. Kuruvilla, you did a ton of work to get that, but now we've passed that 5 years, we're accepted, and it's no longer provisional. So I feel like that's a huge step in our journey. We're no longer provisional. We're here to stay. We appear for reaffirmation before our accreditors in October, and I'm extremely confident and that we'll pass that. I used to teach statistics, so I tell people don't say 100% certain, use confidence instead, but we're in a great place. And even I'll just say a little bit more on organizational health. We do surveys of our staff and of our student body, and we were granted by something called the Best Christian Workplaces. We're a flourishing institution, and I know we're tiny, but we score in like the 100th percentile and 99th percentile for a lot of the metrics that they're looking for when they survey staff and faculty among like 28,000
Phenomenal.
other employees. And I just want to say it's going really well. We survey our student body, and the metrics that I look to go on are mostly spiritual growth and would you recommend this to another student. And I think 90% of our student body this year were either likely or very likely to recommend Sattler to somebody that they care about. So overall, Sattler is very healthy. I'd say it's the healthiest it's ever been in its journey, and I'm just so confident about its future.
Mm-hmm. So what's next for Zack Johnson?
I get 30 seconds. I'll be working with one of my favorite people in the world, my brother-in-law, Peter Cornea. He's actually on Sattler's board, and he's one of my all-time heroes. And I get a chance to kind of join some family business ventures with him and use some resources that God has given him to steward them towards exciting things. And then I'll also be pursuing some different Christian conciliation pathways to explore the world of peacemaking, which I still think is a untapped practice for the Christian world. And I think it's very relevant for the world as we see it today. And I hope to continue to bring that back into Sattler. So I was invited back on the board, and I'm elated to take one of the positions as a trustee. And I'm also be able to teach under Brother Finny's presidency. Next, I teach a class for the seniors called Global Poverty and World Change. So I'll sticking around, but also doing some exciting things beyond. And I'm hoping to lean into some vision I've been hearing about to push people internationally as I've had the chance to do in my own life.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks, Zach, for that. And we're eager to look forward to your ongoing contributions as a board member and as a faculty member.
Great. And Mark, I know you live in Michigan, but thanks for helping with the transition. And I know that I just wanted to take the time to say that it's funny. I just want to give my full endorsement of Brother Finny as the best president for Sattler that you could imagine. I think you and I have talked that if Sattler had 100,000 people applying for the presidency, you'd see some of the things that Brother Finny has done with his life, and you would just kind of pinch yourself for the opportunity to work with him. And were discussing that, I was just discussing that there are many people on the planet that you trust with your children. Brother Finny's invited my wife and I out to dinner the other night, and he offered that my young family be babysat by his not as young family. But I was thinking to myself, is this a wise decision to hand your kids over to somebody else's kids? Where my wife and I, we didn't even bat an eye at it. And I just think that that's a mark of the level of trust I have in Brother Finny and his family. And I think the fruit of your labor is just a test for itself. So I just love to say that.
It's a very exciting time for Sattler, and we're really excited about what lies ahead. So with that, maybe we could get into a little bit of what your vision is and what you see as we move forward with Sattler.
Yeah. So because of all of the great work that President Johnson has done over the years, I really see this more as extension rather than renovation. We have such a solid core and such a great foundation that we've already built together. I think about just on the academic side, we have a dream team here. When I think about our biblical and religious studies, we have the best Hebrew curriculum in the world. I think our biblical courses in general are at the top of the top. I think of what Dr. Beth Bennett has done on the biology side. We have gotten people here and gotten them into some of the best graduate and medical schools in the country.
And the world,
in the world, yeah. Johns Hopkins, Yale, Washington University. Just amazing there. We plug people especially into the Boston, Harvard research ecosystem. And I hope people can come to Sattler and see some of the posters and the good work that our students have done, publishing in some of the best journals in the world, which is so exciting. When I think about what a great undergraduate experience looks like on the biology side, having once been a pre-med myself, if you can get published in a peer-reviewed journal, that's considered to be an absolutely like first-rate experience, which many people at Ivy Leagues don't get. And here we've been able to achieve that for a lot of our students, which has been a real thrill. Just thinking about what we've done on the history program, Hans Lehmann, David Anderson, we have such an outstanding program there. When I see what they study and when I talk to students who are in those courses and I look at their syllabi, I think I wish I had been able to take this myself. I didn't get this good at instruction anywhere near. In fact, even though I went to good schools myself. And I think about our computer science program, especially in today's world with AI and how rapidly changing the world of technology and the biological human interface is going to be. I mean, it's going to be a completely new world in 10 to 20 years. We're staying abreast of that. Our business program, I still believe that business is one of the best engines for those who want to go abroad and serve in a new community. This concept of business as mission, where you're going abroad and adding value to a community. So we've developed just an amazing group of people and faculty and staff. So we get to build on that. So what does it look like to extend it? Just like we can now bring in internationals into our institution because we're nationally accredited, our hope is actually to send more of our students to go abroad. So, wow. And so because we have a high degree of emphasis here on learning languages, we have, Lord willing, we're going to be taking people to Greece to actually use some of their Greek in the field, which would be very exciting. We have some pretty interesting study abroad plans that we're hoping to be rolling out. We brought in a really outstanding person from Gordon Conwell, who's going to be working as a consultant here, who's got a lot of experience in getting students to places like England and Italy. And so we're, Lord willing, going to be rolling those out. I'm excited about being in Boston, which is already a global multicultural city, about us then taking those skill sets of cultural competency and language acquisition and using them to advance Great Commission globally. I'd love to see us extend and build on our discipleship program. I think we've done really well there, and that has been an outstanding place of growth, but I think we can go even further. I think about holistic health as well, making sure that our students are getting strong physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And this is really what the whole practice of the spiritual disciplines should be cultivating, not just spiritual health, but really a total life of health. And so I think that's really compelling there. And we have a lot to be excited about for the future, as here we are in this place of strength and thinking about how we can leverage that strength going forward. So the future is bright, and I'm excited to work with both of you together in keeping that future bright.
It is an exciting time here. I want to thank you both for sitting down for this conversation. Zack, obviously, for everything you've done and built it up to this point, and Dr. Kuruvilla for taking that mantle and moving forward with it. So thank you for sitting down today.
And obviously, I just want to deflect the credit for what's been done. Both of us know how many people are behind the scenes, and I hope that
that's right.
I hope that if you're listening and you were part of the team that built it, that you are also hopeful, confident, proud in what you've done. And I can't name all the names, but I just wanted to make sure that it's not any of the things that are happening while there's a huge team of people that have poured in their blood, sweat, and tears. So praise God, and to him be the glory.
Amen.
Amen.